Hey, what's up? My name is Dave, and as you know, I interpret everything, and today I'm going to be interpreting Creed 2, the second film in the Rocky spin-off / continuation series, starring Michael B. Jordan as Adonis Creed, son of the late, great Apollo Creed, mentored by the one and only Rocky Balboa. Having recently won the title of heavyweight champion of the world, Adonis Creed now has the added stress and personal vendetta when approached to fight Victor Drago, the son of Ivan Drago, the man who killed his father Apollo several years prior. Today, I am joined once again by Rashad G Reviews during our collaboration series covering all of the Rocky and Creed films. It has been 9 months since our last review covering the first Creed film. I just hope that it's not another 9 months until we talk about Creed 3, which is currently the only film in this entire universe that I have yet to see. But we will be hearing what Rashad has to say about Creed 2 in just a hot second. Thanks. My thoughts on the film as a whole. As strange as this might sound, watching this film made me immediately imagine this as the Rocky version of Cobra Kai, telling its own story with its own characters and its own heart, while including more and more legacy characters that are kind of on their own path, which directly affects our main characters. Aspects of the potential of this film, I would argue, are so good that they could have probably kept this as the final film of the series, having Creed face his own demons while attempting to find himself, all the while having to face his father's killer and his son. Naturally, that creates a deep personal and emotional anchor for both Adonis and Rocky, as structurally, the first film had mirroring battles that both Creed and Rocky had to deal with. And this had the potential to take those personal battles and amplify them tenfold. Additionally, we have the added personal struggles for Creed as he's faced with the mirroring narrative that his girlfriend is pregnant with their child, and if he dies in that ring, like his father did before him, he will leave that child fatherless, with 2 generations of stories about how their father and grandfather were both killed in a boxing ring by the same family. Talk about pressure. Rashad's going to mention this as well, but Creed 2 also benefits slightly with a sub-story focusing on Victor Drago that allows you to care a little bit more about him as a human being than you ever did for Ivan, which I love to see complex characters like that, as it raises stakes for all characters and it creates something a little bit more impactful and long-lasting. The fight in the third act, as usual, was absolutely fantastic. That, however, was fully expected. I have yet to see a fight that wasn't all that great in any of these movies. So, is this a perfect film? That's the question. Not by a long shot. And before I get into my negatives here, I do want to shoot it over to Rashad to hear what he has to say about Creed 2. Take it away, Rashad.
And here's the review. Hey, yo, Dave, what's the deal? Pickles, is everything kosher? So, yo, we back at it again, man. It's been a minute. Thanks for having me back. Better late than never, man. But we're here to talk about Creed 2, or I like to call Rocky 3 2.0, because it follows Rocky 3 a lot, and it has 4 sprinkled in there too for flavor. So the first time I saw Creed 2, y'all, honestly, I wasn't impressed. Just because I feel like the movie was just a little too long in the tooth. I feel like it was really slow at certain areas, because these Rocky movies, they all have a formula. And Creed 2 kind of deviated from the formula, even though I said it's like Rocky 3. But I compared to Rocky 3 because in this one, like Rocky 3, he's now the champ, he's on top. And now you have this young contender who wants to take his title away. And he defeats him the first time. Technically, he didn't defeat him. He got disqualified. But still, he beat Donnie within an inch of his life. Donnie doesn't want no more of this guy. And it's like, he has that moment like Rocky 3 on the beach where he says, hey, yo, I don't want to lose what I got. I got you. I got the kid. I don't want to lose what I got. What do we have that can't be replaced? What? A house. We've got cars. We've got money. We've got everything but the truth. What's the truth, damn it? I'm afraid. All right? He has one of those moments. Of course, with the help of Rocky, he gets back on track again because Rocky doesn't want him to fight Victor at all, because he told him, look, man, a guy broke things in me ain't never been fixed. It ain't worth it, kid. Donnie being hard-headed has to do it anyway. So, yeah, the first time around when I saw this movie, y'all, I gave it a C-, I believe, because I gave it props for the fights and for the training montages, but just the movie as a whole, I found myself bored a lot. And even rewatching it now, I still feel those same things, but I do appreciate it more now, and I like it more now because I got over the fact that it doesn't follow the Rocky formula to the T. It's steering into a direction where it becomes its own thing instead of being a Rocky knockoff. So for that, after repeated viewings, I do give it props for that. And there's a lot of touching moments here too. The whole thing with Donnie and his daughter being born deaf, and then all this stuff with the Dragos. Like, that's the stuff that surprised me the most is with the Dragos. I was in a position where I'm feeling more empathy for the Dragos than I am for Donnie, because Donnie has it all. This dude, he's made it. The Dragos are living in cold-ass fucking Ukraine, broke as a joke, fighting for No Money Productions in association with No Money Records. You know what I'm saying? They ain't got nothing. And on top of that, Victor's mom, Ivan's ex-wife, abandoned him as a baby. So the scene where he sees her again, and it's like, man, this woman abandoned me, but now she want to come back in my life now that I'm somebody. So when you watch the last fight, this is the first time that you see where, okay, both of these guys got something to fight for. And it's like we're supposed to root for Donnie, but then I find myself rooting for Drago too, because I don't want to see him lose, because it's like, okay, I have a chance now to put Ukraine back on the map. I can make my father proud and then get my mother's love back. So he has a lot that he's fighting for too. So you don't want to see neither one of them lose. But that fight was as violent and as epic as any of the Rocky fights, and then more emotional weight because you are pulling for those two characters. And by the end, I was a big water bag. I sat there and I shed a tear when Ivan Drago hugged his son for the first time. It was like, it's okay. And the way Victor cried, I was like, oh God. But that's not it. The cherry on top, when Rocky is reunited with his son, it probably didn't affect you as much just because I don't know if you're not connected with this series like I am, but this is my favorite franchise, right? So I just have a heartfelt connection to it. I got that E.T. Elliott shit going on when it comes to these Rocky movies. And when Rocky was reunited with his son, I was a big water bag. I sat there and I cried like a baby. So anyways, yeah, at first, not really a fan of this movie, but then over time I learned to appreciate it. I think this is not as good as the first Creed, but definitely a worthy sequel, and worthy enough where it spawned a sequel, which we'll get to later. So with that being said, I almost said Rocky. I bumped Creed from a C- up to a B+. All right, I had to bump it up a whole grade just because of my new appreciation for the film. Now, it's not without its flaws, but it did what it was supposed to do, all right? And it was good to see Dolph Lundgren back as Ivan Drago. And I wish we could have got one more fight with him and Rocky. And they did film a fight. I don't know if you know this, Dave, but they did film a fight at the hospital when Donnie gets hurt. And Ivan and Rocky run into each other, and they have one last little scuffle, but for whatever reason, they cut it out of the movie. Probably because it looked ridiculous seeing two old men fighting like that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's all I got. So Dave, thank you once again. Look forward to Creed 3, fam. Peace.
Thank you to Rashad for joining me on my channel for this review. I have left a link to his YouTube channel in my description box below for y'all to check out his content over there. Subscribe to his channel. Tell him who sent ya. Always a great time to have him on my channel to discuss yet another film, whether that would be something that we both agree on or have completely different opinions with. And I would say with Creed 2, we definitely agree on most points. Rashad mentioned his original viewing of Creed 2 being met with boredom, but improved upon his second viewing. For me, I would probably say the opposite. I distinctly remember thinking that this sequel was better than the first Creed film when I originally saw it, most likely because the plot did have that potential that I mentioned prior. Upon rewatch, I can see that boredom that he was mentioning, since it does have a few slow moments here and there that lost my interest before it brought me back for, obviously, the third act. I think that the reason this bothered me as much as it did was because structurally, the film brought it back to the OG structure of Rocky, meaning half family drama, half fight stuff. The previous film was almost all training before the final fight, which doubled as family drama given Rocky's influence. This film didn't have that as much, so parts of it felt a little bit more bare in that department. I feel as though if I made the movie, I would have focused a fraction more on Rocky's character and his own personal thing against Ivan. Like Rashad mentioned with the deleted scene, he was glad that they kept it out of the final film, But I'm not, actually. I think that we needed more confrontations between Rocky and Ivan in order to balance and mirror the stuff going on between Adonis and Victor. As it is, though, I will say that the film still works out pretty well for what it is, even though it's not as well balanced as the first Creed film, in my opinion. I will be agreeing, though, with Rashad's overall letter grade, and I will be giving this a B+ as well. It's a solid film that does its job, but there's definitely room for improvement. We will see where the story takes us for the third film, which I'm both apprehensive to check out, as well as somewhat excited. Without Stallone in the film, it'll be different, but different doesn't always need to mean bad. So I have my fingers crossed, as well as my toes. I'm going to cross those as well. But anyways, thanks for watching. Thank you to Rashad for joining me. I look forward to our next venture discussing the third Creed film. And as for you guys watching, what is your favorite Creed film? Let me know in the comment section down below, and hit that like, subscribe button, and bell to be notified when I come out with my next review. As for you guys at home, what is your favorite Creed film? Let me know in the comment section down below, and hit that like, subscribe button, and bell to be notified when I come out with my next review, whatever and whenever that may be. And until that day comes, peace.